All right, let's take a second here to stop and talk about our gear. So we're all using the DeWalt FlexVolt tool system. We've got the 60 volt worm drive skill saw, circular saw here. And if you're used to the standard framing saw, the skill worm drive saw, it gives you all the power. And it also, for most right-handed people, you've got the blade on the side so you can physically see your cut, which I'm used to, and that's what I like. This is the best option. DeWalt's got a couple of options for the battery-powered saw. You have a 20-volt option, which is a lot smaller. It still has the blade on the left side of the motor so you can see your line and your cut, but it doesn't have the power. And then DeWalt has got the next step up, which is the FlexVolt saw, which has got the traditional style with the blade on the right side of the motor, which gives you some power, but you do not get to see your cut. You're relying on your guides, and sometimes you're looking over. It's great if you're left-handed, but it's not ideal for most carpenters that are used to a worm drive saw. So this has been a great option. It's a little spendy. It's about $300 without the battery kit. And then it's got the FlexVolt 60 volt batteries. You've got your 9 amp hour option. You've got your 6 amp hour option. And then they've got now a 12 amp hour option. So far for me, seems to last a whole day if you're doing framing or anything like that where you're heavily using this tool. Seems to be about what it takes for a whole day. 2 of the 9 amp hour batteries. All right, let's see here. Moment of truth. Look what our pattern was. And we're low by about 1/8 of an inch, which is great. That's pretty darn good. We can shim that up. And you got plenty of forgiveness here with your step. That one. This was our pattern, I believe. This one was already a little lower, so that's one we'll have to shim up. Now we can either shim it or we can just move the whole landing back. It's just as easy to shim it. That bird's mouth is not even necessary, but it's there, and that's where I like to shim from. All right, well the stairs are all done, except for a couple of treads. I'm short a couple of 2x6s, so I'm gonna have to go get some more 2x6s to finish the treads. But I've got my first tread done, notched around the 4x4, and then I've got my end railing going past. I think we're gonna go ahead and put a round rail here, likely a cedar rail like we did at the tram. It's just really slick and looks really nice, and is just a nice thing to grab onto when you're coming up and down from the beach. So yeah, stairs are looking really good. On to the next task. All right, so I'm taking off here. The barge wasn't able to get here last night, but we've wanted to point out we've set up a couple of trail cameras. So we got this one here that points out at the water, and then we've got a few down the beach that we've set up. They've been out for a few months, and we're gonna go out and check them here on the way back in and see what we get, see if there's anything on the cameras. So we collected all the trail cameras, pull all the memory cards. I think we're just gonna pull the cameras in. I don't know if we've got anything on there. I didn't see any tracks or anything like that. So we'll check the memory cards in town when I get to the computer and see if we've got any wildlife or Sasquatch. there are some sea lions or seals out there. Or am I? Whoa! Fall is here and the boat ride is a lot chillier than it used to be. I mean, it was always cold, but it's a little more nippy. Winter is coming. You can see behind me in this valley between the mountains. Every time we pass this valley, there's a wind that whips down here and pushes a crosswind, and this spot is particularly rough every time. Over here on the shore is the old Treadwell mine, which some of my earliest memories are my great-grandfather sitting around drinking coffee, telling me about the gold rush. And this gold mine that was this huge, huge gold mine. At the time, it was the largest gold mine on the planet. And when it collapsed in 1916, I believe it was front page news in London. So it was a big deal. This was a big mine. Everyone from all over the world came here to work in this mine. This was before the Klondike Gold Rush. This was in the 1860s when the gold rush here in Juneau started. And I just think it's funny. Some of the earliest memories I have as a kid are hearing about this mine from my grandpa, because it collapsed the year he was born. So it was had some significance in his life too. And there's the site of the old dock that went to the Treadwell mine, and you can't really see it, but kind of over in this area is where the mine was, and it collapsed. They were mining for years and years, hard rock mining underground, and had tunnels and tunnels, and they just kept chipping away at the pillars that held up the ceiling, and finally it just collapsed one day. Apparently nobody was killed, but there was one guy that was unaccounted for. And then we come into Juneau.